What's up, guys? Welcome back to EMS, Power Melbourne Shuffle. Well, it's been a minute, moved a couple places, but I'm hopping back on the horse, and we're going to finish up this fitness and nutrition series for Series 7. So, yeah, let's get into it. This is going to be my entire workout of what I'm doing right now. I only work out twice a week right now, probably shuffle and dance 3 to 4 times a week at best, and kind of finally found the formula of what works best for me. It's just through a lot of trial and error of trying to keep on muscle mass with your shuffle. And you know, there's the 3 different body types. If you've ever looked those up before, and there's some different theories and different types of names, but usually it's the endo, ecto, and mesomorph. So I happen to fall under like the more string bean type of slender body type, which is the endomorph. Very, slender, thin, tall, usually frame. But each one of these has their advantage, and I invite you to do your research. Look these up too, and I'll put them in the description below. But today we're just gonna go over my entire workout. Because I just love sharing that with you guys, showing you like what it takes to get into shape. Not even being at a gym, you don't need a gym. The only thing I like a gym for is like they have a sauna. It's good for detoxing, which is very important these days, as we've all come to find out. If you're not detoxing in some way, whether via shuffling and dancing. To sweat. If you're not sweating, you're not detoxing anything. So that's one of the benefits of the gym. They have a lot of different things there that that can provide that. But if you're very minimal and you're at home, and maybe you just don't have money for a gym membership, or maybe you're not motivated to go to the gym, or a lot of people have problems with staring and people looking at them. That's totally fine. I understand that. And whatnot in the comfortability in your own backyard or patio. You can grind silently. Okay, so I guess let's get into it. So the first thing I do, I like to get these little grips, these hand grips. This really helps with forearm strength and just overall grip strength. So I like to do 100 of these starting out. And then I'll do a little bit of warm up, like jumping jacks, and just get the heart rate up after this. So I'm going to go ahead and do these. I'll kind of speed it up a little bit. So, all right, here we go. Let's get it. I'm at about 80 right now. 20 more to go. Okay. These things will be your best friend, okay? I don't care what anyone says. You could build some serious grip strength with these. Forearm, okay, like you wouldn't believe. They're it's a cheat code, okay. Now, if you can't do 100, don't worry. I've worked my way up to 100. They have different ones. I got these at Target for like $5. You can get them on, whatever, offer up anywhere, okay. But these are great. They have ones too that are have a little bit less tension on them, so like they go up to like 30, up to like 50 to 90 pounds. So you can adjust the weight on these. So yeah, start out with 30 to 50 if you prefer. Also, this is your disclaimer right now. If at all doing any of these workouts, you feel any kind of pain or or anything, please stop and assess what you're doing. I have been doing this for 20 years on and off, bodybuilding on and off. I do have a lot of experience lifting, and I've never suffered or incurred a lifting injury because I've always practiced good form and had advice and had good mentors before me to show me the correct methods of lifting and bodybuilding and all that. So again, there's your disclaimer, okay? Never proceed to do something if it hurts. Figure out why. Are you doing it wrong? Is your posture wrong? Okay, you want to do things very in a systematic, clean approach, okay, to your lifts and anything you do in life, okay? Little lesson. So after that, I like to just kind of warm up with just a few jumping jacks. Just get the heart rate up a little bit, not too much, not too crazy. This is where we're lifting weights a little bit. Nothing crazy. Switch it up. These are called dance jacks. Regular jumping jacks. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay. Once you feel good, you can just jump in place a little bit, get the blood going. Kind of like boxers do. Okay. Move the feet. Okay. You can twist the hips a little bit. All right. Nothing crazy, just to get the heart rate going a little bit. Usually they say around 30 seconds to a minute. So find a way, if you want to dance for 30 seconds to a minute, go ahead, But get the heart rate going, because we got the blood pumping already with the hand grips. Okay. So we're gonna begin. We're gonna start out with some curls. We're only doing one set. These are all kind of, in a way, kind of like supersetting, but I only do one set because that works for me. And once I show you my results from a year ago, June 1 will be a year of consistently working out, since I kind of, took a break a long time ago, got a little burnt out, but I'm back now, okay? So I'll show you before and after what I look like then and now. That way you can get an idea of oh, okay, he knows what he's doing, and consistency with anything is the key, okay? That's with anything you do. Always remember that. That's something I still have to teach myself over and over with new projects and things that I do daily, okay? So we're going to use this curl bar here. So like I said, we're going to be using this straight part of this curl bar here. I like the straight bar better, personally. I used to do a lot of preacher curls when I was younger, and it's kind of different parts of the bar work, different parts of the muscle. You can make the bicep, in this case, peak more. We're going to go wide grip because I just like the straight bar. This is really all I have to work with right now. I think this is about 55 to 60 pounds. I added a 10 on each side a couple months ago as I've been moving up in weight, and I'm going to have to get some more soon. But okay, let's begin. We're going to shoot for 10 to 15-ish, and that'll be our rep range, okay? So let's begin. I'll do a little front ways and sideways for you, okay? Now when you start out and do this, you want to really take a deep breath and contract the muscles, go up. Don't let the elbows flare out. Keep them tucked where they're at, into the body. If you feel any pain or discomfort, stop and reassess, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to turn sideways for you. 6, 7, 8. If you need to rest, and then go back to it. Was that 9? 10, 11. Face you guys again. 12, 13. Turn this way. 14. Control your breathing too. Breathe in and push out when you let the weight come down. I think this was at 14. I'll do 2 more because I kind of lost track. Sometimes if you need to kind of rest it, bounce it off your legs, that's fine. As long as you get it back up and complete your reps, okay? What was that, 14? 15? 16? 17. Drop the bar slowly. Okay. I only do 1 set of biceps because biceps are kind of they've always been my biggest muscle, but they're just a show-off muscle. They don't really do anything, you know. They it's a pull muscle, you know. You do more pushing than like pulling, I would say, you know. So I only do 1 set of everything anyways, but like bicep, trust me, you do 16 of these at a weight that you feel comfortable with, you know. And by the way, find the weight that fits you best at your current weight and physique and all that, and do 10 to 15-ish rep range. I wouldn't go any further than that because you start to tear down the muscle. From research, you start to get 18 to 22 plus. At that point, you're just toning up. And if you just want to be toned, more reps will do that. But I like to be somewhere right in the middle. I could do 8 to 10 is usually a comfortable range, they say, to gain muscle mass. But it just all depends on you and what you're going for. I'm trying something a little new. I'm trying to consistently eat more for once in my life, and with also shuffling and dance, and combine the two, but still eat enough, still be able to gain weight. Okay, because this is a HIIT cardio dance. How many bodybuilders do you see doing dancing or HIIT cardio? Not a lot, because they know it burns muscle. It burns your. Well, once you burn through your fat stores, then you start, there's nothing else to burn, and especially if you're lean, kind of string bean like I am, you start to burn the muscle next, okay? So, you want to just be very careful how many reps you're doing in each range of each workout, okay? Next, I usually go straight to overhead press. I'll do 10 in the front, 10 in the back for shoulders. You're also working out triceps here, so it's a compound lift, okay? Compound, means working more than one muscle in bodybuilding and lifting, okay? So let's get it. Again, I'm doing it wide grip, straight bar, and down. Slowly pick up the weight. Don't use your back, use your legs, and go back up like that. If you happen to drop the bar, okay? So now, hoist it up, or shimmy it up, whatever you want, however you try and get the weight up. Boom. This is like weightlifting 101. Boom. Okay. You want to shrug up. Okay. This is fairly lightweight, so you can do that. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Behind the back. Careful, don't hit your shoulder Sure, don't hit your vertebrae on your neck. Be very careful. You don't have to do these. You could just do 20 in the front or 15 in the front or however many you feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Deep breaths. 10. If I have the strength, the time, and the energy, I'll come back after the front, after I lift it back over, and I'll rep out a couple more. Okay. Just feels good, you know? Feels good to get a pump. So rest it off. Rest it up. Now, I don't take, as of this month, a couple weeks ago, from when I restarted my journey of working out and being consistent, I have not taken any supplements besides an all-natural whey protein. I just started taking some creatine, some of the best that I could find, because I don't cheap out on my body and my health when it does come to that. And I can put that in the description if anybody's even interested. I don't recommend you take supplements right away, in my opinion, because it's like, you know, a lot of times we start these workouts, start getting fit again, and then you fall off the wagon. Then it's just like, you know, in my opinion, you should try and see how long you can stay consistent. If you're at like the 3-6 month mark and you're diving into working out and fitness, okay, maybe you can get some creatine. As they say from research, it's one of the most studied supplements in the world. You know, we get it from things like meat and other minerals and sources like that. Okay, so if you get a good clean kind with no BS in it, you know, it's not a bad thing. I have heard pros and cons about it, more pros than cons, but hey, do your own research, use ChatGPT, things like that, to figure out what works. But this is my second workout with taking some creatine about an hour before, and I can definitely say I do feel the gains slowly compounding and coming at me. Okay, so that being said, you know, I wanted to reach about a year before I take any supplements, because in my opinion, although they do help, again, it's just like, if you're only going to be working out for a month and then you quit, then you just wasted money technically, you know? Like, this is insurance for your body. You got to keep going with this. You got to stay on the ball, you know? So if you're committed, you know you're not quitting, which don't quit, then go for it. Maybe get yourself some creatine, get yourself definitely some all-natural whey protein. I can drop in the description below what I take, and you know, you want the cleanest, most ethically sourced products and supplements as possible if you do want to dive into that, okay? And again, one of the reasons why I'm taking creatine once again is, you know, I've been doing this for a year now consistently. It's very difficult with shuffling, you know? I'm not ever going to give up dance. I'm not ever going to stop dancing. But to pack on weight for someone as me who has a very, you know, I'm in a very high calorie deficit every day. Like, we're talking, you know, I'll dance for a couple hours sometimes, 3-4 hours at a session. And then it's like next 48 hours, I'm just burning an extra 400 to 700 calories on top of that a day, you know? So, starting to work up a sweat here, which is good. I'm out in the sun. You're also getting, you know, some, you know, vitamin D. It's a beautiful day here in Arizona. It's 86, so won't be able to do this for much longer because it's about to be summer. Okay, let's get back into it. Next, we're going to do forearms. Now we already did these with the grips, but you know, I only do 1 to 2 lifts with the same movement or same muscle group. That's fine for this one workout, because I guarantee after you do this thing, obviously not talking, you just do it straight through, you're feeling pretty juiced, pretty pumped up, and that's the whole point of a workout. You know, this is insurance for your body. You're gonna feel amazing and thank yourself once you're done with just this one this one set workout, you know. And so anyways, let's get to it. We're gonna do forearms again. Lift up with your legs, not your back. Boom. And again, I'm gonna do wide grip. Okay. So here we go. Do about 10 of these or so. Again, I exhaled. 1, down, 2, down. Now you might feel your arms kind of twist, because it's kind of a weird contorted position. 3, but try and let down a little bit slow. Don't just drop the weight, okay? These are going to build massive, strong forearms if you do these, as well as the grips as well. When you do these, try and keep the elbows, flex the lats a little bit. Your lats are on the side right here. We'll get to those later. And flex. Okay. Come down. 4, 5, 6. Or maybe that was 6. 7, 8. 9, 10. Scoot over a little bit. Okay, now you might feel, because this is such a wide grip, that, you know, you're going like this. You're moving the weight up and almost away, you know, because your arms, you're trying to hold your arms like this, but since we have it kind of on a wide grip, it kind of makes the wrist, this knuckle, kind of want to pop, kind of release. You gotta fight that a little bit, okay? Fight that tension. It might not be the most comfortable position, and again, I don't really like using. I like doing the straight bar. It just suits me, okay? But if you have to move in closer, you can do that. Okay. If you have to go right here, you know, let the bar rotate. If this is more comfortable for you, 11, 12, 13, do that, okay? I just like to do 14. I just like to do the straight bar. So if it's uncomfortable for you, if it's trying to unlatch your grip, try and fight that. If it hurts, any kind of pain or discomfort, move the grip in closer, because your body and your arms, your grip, your muscles are fighting that. Okay, it's kind of like when you do push-ups. We'll do those in a bit. They say not to flare your elbows out. You want to keep them in, because it's like you're cheating. Holding them in is going to keep you from flaring out and cheating and recruiting other muscles. And you're not really working the tricep that way. Okay, so we'll get to that. We're almost done with the bar. We got, I believe, a couple more workouts with it. Next we're going to do, actually, a quick water break while I talk. Next we're going to do shoulders. We're literally hitting almost every body. This is pretty much a full body workout. And believe me, when I first started, I was not at, 55, 60 pounds, minus 20 pounds off that. You know, I could barely do that 4 or 5 months ago is when I started this. This whole workout, everything you're seeing, I wasn't doing this 5, 6 months ago. I was at, you know, another house doing, you know, my pull-up bar, which you'll see in a bit here, and whatever weights that I had. So whatever you can find to use, if you can invest in a nice regular standard curl bar, straight bar, get some weights up to say, I would say, 65 to 75 pounds, like total, like with including the weight of the bar, that'll get you by, Quick water break here. By the way, lemon in your water is great for you. Helps detox. We talked about detoxing earlier. It also gives you electrolytes, replaces that sweat, that sodium that we're losing outside sweating, okay? And it just tastes great, okay? So next we're going to do shoulders. Now with these, a lot of people are against these. These are just basically shoulder raises, but we're gonna do it again with the bar. Lift up carefully, use your legs, and make sure you take a breath. Recruit the legs, not the back for that, okay? Now with this is too uncomfortable for this position. So I'm gonna move in one grip. So about right here to that first dip on the, scoot over some of the light here for you guys, for the curl bar, okay? We're gonna do about 10 of these, maybe 20. I like to really kind of hammer these out. Now these are working your lats. If you let the weight go, you see how the lats next to my, or not the lats, the traps on my shoulder. So right here, okay? So if you let the bar go, they'll activate. So we're doing that, we're activating that, and we're also targeting shoulders. When you come up like this, you're working that shoulder cap. You have the front, rear, and there's like a middle delt. They're called delts or deltoids. So you have the front delt, the rear delt, and they call it like the side delt or the middle delt, I believe. So you're kind of working that full shoulder there. The point of these is I just like to, these work for me, and they get the traps big too. Not that I really like to focus on traps, but it is a good workout overall. Be careful when you do this not to like pinch anything. Don't go up too fast or too slow. That was rep 1. If you can go up to nipples, mid-chest, I like to hit about the neck where my necklace is. Boom. Come down. What was that? 3? 2 or 3? 4, 5, 6, 7. Grip the bar. 8. These aren't supposed to be easy. 9, 10, 11, 12. Take a little break. 13. Losing some sunlight here because of the shade. 14. 15. If you're sweating, that's good. It means you're working. It means you're detoxing. I'm gonna go to 20. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Set it down gently. Now again, when you're doing these, I would say you're using like middle delt, a little bit of all the delts, okay? Okay, so again, quick little break there. When you're doing these, you can probably feel when you're done, you're definitely, these, you're working the rear delt because you're lifting up like this, right? Almost. We're relaxed, of course, but it's kind of an awkward movement, but they do wonders for your shoulders and a little bit for your lats too, Boom. Boom. So when you come up with the weight, because this is tilted forward a little bit, you feel the pinch in the back or relax this, just hold the arm like this, but then make that movement where you're pulling up. You're working that rear delt the shoulder, and also the traps when you come up for the squeeze. When you're right here, boom, you're getting that squeeze of the traps too. You don't even have to flex the traps. You could leave the traps totally relaxed and just come up. Concentrate on just the delts, on just the shoulder, the roundness of the shoulder. Boom, right there. You'll feel it, guaranteed. Mostly rear delt again, but a little bit of front delt as well. Boom. You can even come up to just right here. Yeah, like I said, shoulder, the nipples or the middle of the chest. Boom, right there. Okay. We kind of roll these out. They're a little tight. Shoulder rolls are good. You know you're getting a good workout when you get sweat in your eye. We're going to do some of these too. Do these nice and easy. Kind of help open up the shoulders a little bit. Kind of bend the elbows a little bit, like dip, and get a deeper inside. You can keep them straight too, of course. Just try and, there you go. And the arms a little bit, gives it a little bit of a different angle when you do the rotation. Now trust me, I'm only doing this for about 35, maybe 45 minutes. It's gonna probably be an hour video because I'm going over every single little detail. Because I want you guys to be prepared and have all the information possible, you know. This is 20 years experience, you know, that you're getting from me. You know, you don't have to be a huge, giant, mega bodybuilder. Everyone has, you know, to give advice on the internet, okay? What works and what's proven is experience and consistency. And of course, results, okay? So, like, again, at the end, I'll show you where I've come, or how far I've come, okay? So, we're done doing, you know, this, shoulders, we're done. I know you're probably tired. Now we're gonna focus on legs and back. And we have just a few more workouts after that, and then we'll be done. We'll get legs out of the way first. I promise it's not that hard, okay? So listen to me before we get going here. With the legs, this is how I see it. The legs are meant to do many, 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 many reps. However, when you walk on your legs every day, okay, that is plenty of reps, in my opinion. Am I saying you should avoid working out legs? No. Especially if you're a bodybuilder, it's all about, you know, you're carving and chiseling each body part and muscle. You know, you want to equal everything out. So you don't want to have like toothpick legs, but then again, you also don't want to have like, you know, obviously the opposite, like just giant legs and then like nothing up top either, which is pretty rare. But the point is, you want to have a little bit of mass, especially if you're a shuffler and a dancer on the quads and in your glutes for this workout as well with the butt. Okay, so we're gonna do some squats. Now, if you can't do this weight, just do air squats, or if the weight is too much, take the weight down. So I'm gonna do 30 reps for you guys. I'll do 10 air squats, 20 or so if I can of the weighted squats, okay? Now when you do the air squats, just come down, face you, and it'll turn sideways in a shoulder width position, okay? So you're gonna come down, boom. I like to get like a ready stance like this, kind of like you're on the line of like a football defense. Boom. Now don't hunch over, you want to go down, squat with the legs. Boom, right there. Sideways view. Boom, about right there. If you can go deep and you have that range of motion, do it. They say more range of motion is better. It's also healthy, and it's good for you to go, in a deeper range squat. If you can go only 90, boom, right there. Sink into it if you can. Boom. Flex those muscles and recruit all the other muscles to help you stop at that 90. The quads, the glutes, hamstrings. Boom. and go back up, okay? So what was that? We'll do 10, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can point if you need to when you get done. Boom, come down this ready position. 8, 9, 10. So there's your 10. There's your 10 air squats, okay? Pretty easy. Okay, so I recommend do those until it gets easy, you know, and then when you can finally add some weight, do that. Maybe some of you want to add a weight vest. You can even invest in a weight vest as well, and do that, okay? Okay, so for those of you who haven't used one of these before, this is a bar that I have. Brand really doesn't matter, but this one just happens to be SPRI, as you can see there. But now, if you're doing this inside, you want to get some socks, some old socks or tape. Even tape can kind of leave marks though. So if you can do this outside on a door frame, do it. The wider the door frame, the better, because we are going to tend to get pretty wide with these. So this is, you know, your common average pull-up bar, okay, as you can see there. So this is what we're going to be using for pull-ups and abs and, you know, future workouts. So it just goes over the lip. If you're not familiar, it goes over the lip of this, and then it hooks on right here. Make sure you always do a test to make sure that it's in place, okay? You do not want to get hurt doing this. I've seen viral videos where people, you know, they fall on their butt, okay? We don't want to do that. So, again, we are going to now perform some wide grip pull-ups. And I'm going to show you how to do these with good form. And we're going to aim for about... Okay, so with pull-ups, with these, you know, I'm a tall guy, so also it's good to get a little dead hang. Ooh. Good to hang for a sec. Oh, I do that sometimes in the morning, or just if I feel my back is just compressed. This helps decompress the spine. Just hanging here for, you know, 10 to 30 seconds, you know, maybe even a minute or longer. Just don't hang for too long, because that can, you know, if your body's not used to hanging like that, you know, that can be a lot of weight bearing down. So just be cautious, okay? So again, with these wide grip, go almost as wide as you can, but I would say like shoulder. See how my arms match up with about my shoulders? Okay. We're gonna do, I usually do around, I built up to 10 to 11. I did 13, I think, my last workout. If you want to rest, with these, I don't really, I'm not gonna harp on you too much, like the whole muscle building 10 to 15 range, because with these, usually people can't do too many pull-ups. If you can do 10 plus, I say go for it, you know, because, and with these you're building lats, okay, you're building lats, you're using bicep a little bit, okay, and grip strength, a little bit of forearm involved, okay, okay, so just keep that in mind. Do as many of these as you can. If you need to get a step stool, or you need to get some resistance bands to help you up, so that you can help you acquire or achieve 2 to 3 reps, okay, that's fine, okay? But we're going to begin now, okay? So grab the bar. When you go up, you can either put your legs behind you if you're too tall, or if you want to put your feet kind of in front of you, you can do that too, okay? So let's get it. Deep breath. Start down with a dead hang, and then go up. Don't ever just go into it. That's cheating. Okay, we don't do that. So start with like a dead hang, and it's like right when you dead hang, because the longer you hang, the more you're going to tire your ATP, which is like your energy that you have. You're going to tire that ATP energy out, and you want to get these done as soon as you start them. Boom, you want to get right into the pull-up. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's control. 6. Not so fast. 7, 8. Drive the elbows down. 9, 10. See how I'm going all the way down? Shoulders almost touch my ears. Deep breath. 12. We'll do 13 today. Notice how I started off a little quick, and then I was like, you know what? I need to slow down a little bit. You're not doing anything if you're just going up. Okay? That's that right there is months, 2-3 months worth of consistency and building from 5 to 8 to 10 reps. I'm gonna do a couple more because I'm feeling good. And if you're feeling good, don't ever cap yourself. Do more. If you can do a couple more, do a couple more. You know, feels good. It's good for the body. Come to a dead hang. And right when you dead hang, start. 1, 2. Notice my elbows aren't flaring out. Keep them like in. Oh. Okay. When you let the elbows flare out, you're gonna have poor performance. Versus when if you flare them in, flare the elbows in, drive them up as you come up. If you can get your chin over the bar, great. If not, that's fine. If you can go up to chest, like whatever works for you. But you need to get at least, like chest line, I would say, okay? Okay, so again, I just want to emphasize on the chest because this is a very compound lift. You know, you're using your lower back, your entire back. You're using your forearm, your grip strength. Remember those grip weights that we did at the beginning? Okay, you remember these? You know, these all help with holding on to the bar. Okay, again, that's what these look like. Okay, if you're not familiar, definitely invest in some of these. They're like $3 to $5. Okay, again with the pull-up bar, this is such a good wide range, wide door. It's going to be hard to complete this in a normal door frame. Even if you were right here, it changes everything because your grip, as you go out wider, you know, it expands. You're going to be hanging even lower here, right? If you do inside grip. You can still do this, of course. And let's try it again. Let's do a couple more. Let's do it with the elbows kind of flared out. You see how they're like that? You want to try and keep them in. See the difference? Now if you do this, that's not say you're not going to work out anything, but you want to try and fight that resistance and have the elbows stay inward. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now there's this other grip too where you can, it's a little, so you got here, and then there's like this kind of hammer type grip as well where you're like this. I never use these just because, I don't know, I just haven't really
delved into them yet, but again, it would be 1, 2, okay, versus flaring out. Okay, don't want to flare out. Keep them tucked. When you're doing anything above the head, like those, when we were doing those overhead press earlier, you want to keep the elbows when you're doing that in. When you're doing that overhead press, in, not out. Okay, not out. You want to keep it in. Fight that resistance, and fight the resistance to cheat, right? Again, with just a dumbbell overhead, don't go like this. Try and keep it right there, not there. Okay. Same thing with pull-ups. Keep them in. You'll notice that when you actually drive them in, it actually helps you drive up more, because when you're driving and flaring the elbows out, you're cheating, 1, and 2, you're losing the force to drive up, because you're literally just you're literally just trying to go up like this at that point. You're just doing that. But when you bring the elbows in and you drive them up, or drive them down almost to your sides like that. See if we can do a couple more. Okay. Boom. Okay, you want to drive them inwards, not outwards, okay? And when you learn these little tips, it's going to save you so much time, form, and energy, and that's why I'm here, okay? So next we're going to move on to what I like to call fly push-ups. So flies, dumbbell flies. Well, I don't have dumbbells, so we're going to do some fly push-ups. You'll see. Okay, so usually when you do dumbbell flies, you grab your dumbbells, right? You're ripping the chest when you do that. You add a slight bend, right? And you lower down. Well, I don't really have dumbbells, nor do I really care to spend the money on them right now, even though I could probably find some cheap on OfferUp. But I just like coming up with ways to. There's millions of ways to get the same effect in your own backyard, in your own patio. So we're going to basically do these. So you can do these with an angle, add an angle, or like just flat on the ground, of course. But I just like doing them a little because with this I feel like it works the upper chest, doing it on like a little bit of an incline, and it's just like a push-up. So it's like a compound lift. You're doing a push-up, but you're also doing a fly, because you're working that same like area, and it's almost the same feel and tear. Let me perform it. So I put my hands right on the edge like this. I'll get a close-up view in a sec. Get good form with the body. Don't bend or cheat. And you come down, get a far enough grip, just like you would with your dumbbell flies, and you come down. Boom. Now with these, again, remember, don't let the elbows flare out. Keep them a little bit in if you can. It's like you're doing a push-up fly, okay? I'm gonna go a little bit wide so my feet slip on this tile. We're gonna do, I don't know, I like to do like 15 to 30 of these, honestly. So here we go. 1, 2. Hitch the upper back muscles too if you can, like this. Like that. Sink into it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're at 10. If you need to let the back breathe, then let go of the flex, but keep doing the workout. 13. Keep the elbows tucked if you can. 14. 15. Touch the cement if you can. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Now I want you to rest a second. You should start to feel that upper chest, especially that kind of rip in the pec. Okay, see if you can keep going. 21, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, stop for a sec. Now at this point I'm pretty, like, I could do more honestly, but again, my goal is a little out of time, okay? I'm not trying to do 2-3 sets. You don't need 2-3 sets. That's been proven to, break the body down even more. You do one set of maybe 10 to 8 to 12, 15 reps. You're gonna get a great workout in, okay? And like, just go like this, act like you're doing a fly now. You're feeling probably that outer chest, try flexing your pecs together a little bit. You're gonna feel the upper, the inside, especially, and that's how go look in the mirror when you're done, I'm gonna do a couple more because, like I said, this creatine is kicking in, and I'm feeling more motivated, more stronger every day now, more power, more energy, more everything. So now I'm not going to put my hands directly on the edge because it does kind of hurt, even though you build those calluses over time, which is good. I'm just going to go like flat right here, and then I'm going to do some flat on the ground for you guys to see as well. So I'm just going to do some flat on the ledge. Get back into your form. If you want to do these with me, great. If not, then just watch. 1. Again, pinch the back muscles as you go down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. Let's do some of these. I just want to do some on the ground, like so. And I'll do some sideways as well. So again, it's like you're doing flies. And why am I emphasizing this particular workout so much? Just like I did the pull-ups. Well, because these are compound lifts, and I feel like it's important to pay a little bit more attention to these. Give them a little bit more. Detail and a little bit more information about, because like I said, you're like, why are you are using the back when you're doing these. You're also using triceps. You're pushing muscles. Your triceps, your chest is push, but your whole body is it's like you're doing a plank, but you're pushing down the entire time, okay? But you're also contracting and angling and dipping the elbows in a way. Boom. Okay. Where you're, ripping the chest. And the push-up is just such a good compound move to build chest, period. Just like the pull-up builds back, and lats, the side of your lats. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do a few this way, just so you can see the angles of the elbows. See, normal push-up, you're like this. But with these, I turn my hands out, okay? and I'm just kind of working it like a fly. That's really all I'm doing, but you know, different angles, different hand placements, different elbow movement and adjustment is going to work out different parts of the chest, okay? So, just going to do 10 more and we'll be done. A couple more things after this. 1, 2, 3. And you see, I'm not just pushing up, I'm also pushing up and back. Like this. Boom. Boom. Not just. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5. 4. Okay. Okay. Next, we got abs, which is going to be a killer. And then we've got tricep dips. And that's it. I usually do all that in about 35 to 45 minutes or so, okay? Alright guys, so now we're going to do some hanging knee raises. Now with these, I figured out, trial and error over years, that hanging knee raises, especially for tall guys like me, I'm 6 foot, you know, with shoes I'm like another, you know, 6 foot, like 1 or 6'2". You know, the more length you have, the almost harder it is to do these. But I mean, you know, this is a compound move too. You're not only are you hanging, you know, you're using, you know, grip strength again. Forearms are getting tired. We're at the end of our workout, but I promise you, if you do these right, the way I tell you to, you know, you give yourself enough breaks and rest in between the beginning and the end of the workout, we're only going to aim for about 50, at least I am. Going 10 each direction, front, right, and then left, okay? So let's begin, and I'll give you tips and talk kind of along the way, okay? So when you do these, again, don't flare out, just wide grip, hang like this. Let your body hang, and as soon as you go into the hang, no goofing around, no 1, 2, 3, it's as soon as you hang, you go into it, okay? We're going to do 10 this way, 10 this way, 10 this way, and then I might do another 10 to 20 if I'm feeling, okay? So ready, and don't let yourself sway. Try and keep yourself hanging. You can get a little bit of momentum, but that's it. Not a huge swing, because then you're cheating, okay? So here we go. Deep breath. 1, 2, here we go. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Switch, turn. Switch. 2, 8, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10 more. That's 30. 2, 35. Breathe. 6, 7, 40. 42. Okay. Guess I'm tapping out 42 today. That's okay. That's okay. The goal is that when you let go, if your stomach is like flex, that means you did it right. But guess what? I'm not done yet. My body might be done, but my mind is not. And I want 50 today. So here we go, no matter what it takes. 42, 43, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Nice and controlled. 50, 1, 52. Whew. There we go. There we go. Body said no. My mind said, get back up there. Okay, that felt great. Now, tips for hanging ab raises, okay? These are number one in my book. Been doing these for at least 4 to 5 months now since I figured out the right way to do them. I no longer do hanging leg raises. Hanging leg raises are like this. Let's see if I can even do it because I'm so tired now. Okay, where you do a straight, that is just, my legs are longer than my torso, okay? So you can imagine the extra weight that is bearing down on your lower back. When you're doing these, your lower back is trying to get your legs, helping your legs go up, and that can lead to all kind of sciatica and pain. Doing the hanging knee raises, all you're doing is getting in a 90-degree angle, and you're just simply bringing the knee up. Now, if you can bring it up more, the more you crunch, the more you can crunch, great. And it's also they call it like I think it's like an eccentric, where you're letting the muscle contract and then decontract. So when you're coming up like this, and then the time it takes to go up and then down as well, and then back up again. You know, you don't want to, like, how should I say this? The more you go all the way up, boom, then all the way down, and all the way up, boom, and all the way down, boom. Kind of like that range of motion with squatting when you go all the way down, all the way up. Let me adjust. Okay, so again, like I was saying, that range of motion. Me being a tall guy, you know, I have a lot to work with. So when I'm doing one of these, you know, I can go all the way here, and all the way down, and all the way up, and all the way down. But, you know, when you're trying to fit in a lot of reps, well, first of all, you shouldn't be trying to just fit in reps, but you should be trying to get in like the proper reps, of course, okay? With that full range of motion. The thing with abs is, like, again, the abs, like the biceps, abs are a real show-off muscle when you're at the beach, that type of thing. Of course, it does help you stand up, right, and balance, right? But, like, who's looking at your abs all day? No one but you. You know, when you have your shirt off and that's it. You have your shirt on, no one can see you, no one can see your abs. Yeah, it's great to have good abs, and you can build stronger abs and have a stronger core overall, of course. Doing planks, medicine ball, balancing on the medicine ball, all kinds of things and stuff like that too, you know. But, you know, when doing these, just make sure you're getting a good rep range, I would say. Otherwise, you're not going to feel the burn. If you're just doing like this, good luck. You're not going to feel it. You need to really crunch that diaphragm. You know, you need to, like, get to right here. Boom. Go back down. Now, if you have the strength, if you have the will to go from, you know, right here to right here to right here, again, you know, as many times as you can, good. I recommend doing that. But with these, and I'm not saying it's okay to cheat, but, like, everyone has a certain rep. Everyone has a certain, I said rep range earlier, but everyone has a certain, like, range of motion that you can go with these. if you can't go all the way up like me because you haven't built up the lower back strength and the leg strength, don't worry about it. If you can only do, remember, deep breath. If you can only go like boom, 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 boom. If that's all you can do for now, that's okay. That's all right. If you can only get to 90-degree angle, that's fine. Because some people they aren't strong enough to lift their legs this high, you know? It's okay. Work with what you can. Build up to it. And like I said, you can get a little bit of momentum like with this, but you should never be like, you know, that's when you start getting to like calisthenic type CrossFit stuff where they will like alley-oop themselves up over the bar, which, hey, that is a whole nother workout. That's crazy advanced, you know, and you can do that if you want. But for these raising, like hanging knee raises, crunches, you can have a little bit of sway, okay? It's almost like a perfect balance. Like when you come back up or back, you should be like, you see how I'm swaying a little bit? That's fine. You can have a little bit of sway. And you use that to help you a little bit get the knee up, and then I think it's eccentric, decentric, where where the muscle contracts and then it lets go. The muscle contracts, then it lets go. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Again, grip strength is tough on this. When you grip the bar, grip it all the way. You know, don't, like when you're gripping the bar, pretend this is the bar. Don't grip like this. You know, grip the bar all the way. If you can put your hand over your index, that's what you want. That's the grip that you want. Okay, because there's no way that grip is coming loose. Okay, boom, you want it like that. And when you're like this, and your thumb is right here, a lot of people like to do that. You tend to slip, and then your grip slips, and then you mess up your form, your technique. You want to grip the bar. Tuck the fingers just in, and the palm and the thumb locks the index finger and the middle finger in like that. Okay, boom. So that's how you get a good grip strength on the bar. Okay. Now, again, when you go into this, you want to take a deep breath, and maybe 1 to 2 seconds after you get that initial hang, begin. 1, 2, okay? And like, you're gonna feel all kinds of pain. Well, not pain, but you know, feels like pain. You're gonna feel soreness, stretching, your muscles, your fibers are tearing because they're going to be rebuilt, you know. Now, I like to do the wide grip. It just feels good for me. And again, the more you hang like this, the lower you're going to hang. See, I'm right here versus a little bit wider. I'm a little bit raised up. It's because, you know, there's a reason that these bars at the gym are so high up and you have to jump up to get them, because tall people that are really tall, you know, their feet would touch the ground, you know. Kind of sucks. If you're short, you have to like really jump up or use a stool or a partner to help you get up, but it's just, it is what it is, you know. But this is a pretty decent height for me, thank goodness. But let's talk about when you switch to go to the lateral or the side, when you're working like oblique area. Let's say we're on number 8 and we're about to, I do 10 front, 10 to the side, 10 to the side, and another 10 to 20 in the front at the end, just to round it off, just to really make sure I did my homework. So when you do that, okay, so like I was saying again, when we're on 8 or 9, let's go. So 3, 2, 8, 9, you're gonna turn the legs, just like this, okay? Get used to this. And you're gonna go 1, 2. Now when you're doing that, trust me, it's not easy. You're recruiting lower back, your obliques. You're almost like you're like pulling. You're pulling on like the back, the oblique, back muscles. It's like a super compound lift, and you're almost like boom, boom, boom. Okay. So watch it again. I'll try and do it a little slowly so you can see. The whole body is like, it's like flexing like a clamp. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Boom. Oh. 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 Oh man, I can't do any more. Oh man, I'm smoked. So, but yeah, and to hold yourself in that kind of contorted, twisted position while doing is not easy. But nothing about this is supposed to be easy, okay? Nothing is supposed to be easy. Hard work gets hard results. So that's and if you have any, be careful when you do this. We're talking in the beginning, you want to do maybe 1 to 3 reps. If you're brand new to this, 1 to 3 reps, or like, one to like 10 reps, or like 5, 5, and 5, okay, or 3, 3, and 3. And trust me, you may think that's nothing, but come back and do it the next workout of the week, 2-3 weeks down the road, and I guarantee, eating right, proper nutrition and rest, you will go up in reps. You will start to get hungry to do more, and you'll want to hold it more. You'll want to just feel the burn more, and that's just how it works. Okay, you're building that ATP energy up inside you. You're building that testosterone up. You're yearning. You're hungry for the lift. Okay, so, and if you at all feel any tweaks, pain, or anything, don't go any further, or find a handicap for yourself. If you have to add those resistance bands to where you like attach them right here, and then maybe you attach them to yourself, or maybe some kind of, you could try a weight belt, see how that goes, but err on the side of caution with anything. But when you do these, just be very careful, because you never know what could happen, just by hanging, period. You could you just don't know, so just be very careful. Especially when doing that part right there, you can really, you don't want to like pull your back or anything like that. You want to make sure you build up. Don't just jump into thinking you can do 50 reps, 52 reps where I got to, which is actually a new PR for me, which is nice. PRs are another thing. I would do a PR, a personal record, or a PB, personal best, like every, I don't know, you could try like every 2 months maybe, if you do 4 workouts, or 2, 4, 6, 8 workouts in a month, just doing this workout routine that I'm doing right now, you should be able to see some pretty good results by the end of the month. So you could do it on your 8th workout of the month. There's nothing wrong with that. You could wait a month and a half, 2 months for sure. You'll definitely see some huge gains. But it just depends on you. It depends how much work you're putting in. And you'll notice each time when you're like, because so like I was saying, that ATP energy will start to build up more, and you start to get hungrier and hungrier. So just be careful with these pull-ups. Build up to it, okay? With everything, with the pull-ups, with the deadlifts, with the air squats. Before I could do decent squats with weight, I had to do a bunch of air squats. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm doing this to stay in shape so I can live and have like good vitality through my life. The extra weights, it's just a benefit, and it's insurance and armor for my body. That way, if I have a slip, trip, fall at work or during my dance, hopefully all that yoga and recovery and lifting with weights and all that is going to help me prevent an injury in the future, and with dance as well. Thankfully, I've never had an injury with dance, but the last thing we have to do, and I know you're probably thinking like, what, there's still more? But yeah, there is more. So is tricep pushdowns. Now this is a very, very easy, well, it can be easy workout, but yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, we've reached the end of our workout. Last thing I do, for whatever reason, I mean there is a reason I do everything in order. It's to kind of help maximize or keep from tiring out the next muscle group. But the last thing I do usually is dips, tricep extension dips here. So with these, let's just begin. I'm lucky enough to have a raised concrete platform here. You want to get in position, you can go a little wider or about the width of where your legs and your hips are, or you can go about mid-range. So to begin, you come out. Now with these, you don't want to sag, okay? You don't want to sag. You want to be here, straight body. When you come down, boom, okay? Boom, like that. Obviously, if you might have a little bit of a dip, or what you could do is you could do your feet flat. You could do your feet flat like that, and then this is acceptable. Boom. We're gonna do 20 to 30, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can touch the floor, great. If not, don't worry about it. 8. All right, what was that on? We'll start at 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, don't let the elbows flare out. Don't let the elbows flare. Keep them in. See, like that. You'll feel it instantly. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You can put a foot on the other if you want for more. Just a challenge. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We'll do 25. I'm feeling pretty gassed. Okay. So with these, you know, you can do these on a chair or a bench. Make sure it's sturdy. Make sure your arms are not flaring out. You're seeing a pattern here, right? With everything we did, the body wants to flare out. It wants to cheat because it's not used to being, you know, under this like pressure. But you'll realize you'll grow faster, and you'll grow, period. You'll gain more muscle, better form, better technique and everything by having proper form of not letting the elbows flare out when doing these workouts. Boom, boom, you know, boom, like that. So that is pretty much it for this, for my workout. That's what I do twice a week. And I know this video is probably going to be like an hour long plus, but hey, you got a lot of juicy detail and knowledge and experience, most importantly, to show you the lifts that I do. And you can take any one of these lifts and do them on your own, and you can combine them with different lifts and make your own routine if you want. I made this routine myself, just grabbing, you know, different workouts and lifts that I knew were going to help me not only with my shuffling and dancing, but just to get some more muscle mass and to just look good, feel good, and just have overall lifts that have good promised results, like the good old compound squat. You know, I feel that in my glutes, my hamstrings, my quads, you know, calf raises. It's pretty common sense, you know, it's not hard, but, you know, like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years, on and off, you know, and I know what it takes to get back into shape, to get to looking good, to get to where I want to be, you know. So if you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to drop them down in the comments, as always. And hey, if you have any corrections or anything you want to add, feel free to also drop that down below, because I'm always learning and willing to learn new things, or if I miss something, you know, take in more information. Yeah, so I'll give you an end result of my physique and what I look like here. So we'll switch to that. Okay, guys, so here is what I look like with, you know, this is after the workout. Veins are, I've always been very, I think they call it vascular. I've always had pretty good veins. Forearms. Okay, I've always had pretty good forearms, and biceps were always my biggest muscle, but I never really liked to work on biceps a lot because I don't like to show off, you know. Ego is such a silly thing. I mean, yeah, if you go to the beach, how many times a year, or you're in your own pool or in your own house, like, who are you trying to impress, you know? I don't care about any of that stuff. You know, biceps are just a show-off muscle, in my opinion. But luckily for me, when I was younger, you know, I guess I remember I used to work them out a lot, and that kind of became my big, like, muscle group. So, again, you know, this is what I look like. If you guys ever want to see how to, like, flex properly, I can maybe make a video on that. Forearm, you can see the striations. Okay, doing those forearm lifts and the grip lifts. Okay, so now I'll show you what the frame looks like, the overall physique. Okay, so this is not flexed, as you can see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now here is flexed. Sucking in that gut, pulling in the diaphragm. Flexing, okay. Triceps. This is like your inner tricep and your, like, outer tricep. Shoulders. Okay. You got your, like, front, mid, and your rear delt. So you got the farmer's tan going on there. Biceps. This is all from doing this twice a week. No gym. You don't need a gym to do this. Just all at home. I don't even know how much I weigh. I started at 150, no, not even 145 pounds. I think I would have to estimate I'd be anywhere from like probably 155, close to 160 right now. So, you know, but again, not flexed, just relaxed. Okay, flexed. Boom. Here's the back. Okay. Again. Okay. So that's it. This is what hard work will get you. This is what becoming an elite shuffle dancer, an elite Melbourne shuffler, an elite of the elite will get you in. And this isn't ego talking. This is almost 9 years experience of dancing. 3 to 4 times a week, lifting on and off. And then as of recently, this is, June 1st will be a year for me. Okay, so if you want these types of results, if you want to be an athlete, and you want to have this type of body, or this type of athleticism, I should say, you can do it. Okay, you have to work hard. Okay, putting my camera out right now, making all these videos of each lift, it's not easy. Pulling the knowledge out of my head and talking while I'm lifting, and it's not easy. But anyone can do this. You just got to put in the work. Okay, so like I was saying, guys, like this is it's not for the faint of heart. Like if you trying to come across in a way that will get you motivated to do this for the rest of your life, and those around you, to get them into it too. Like, I consider myself like a full-on Olympian. Olympians were strong, fit, athletic. They were tough. I think of like the Spartans. They were some of like the most ripped and technical, hardcore, gritty warriors out there. It's like that quote they say, better to be a what do they say, a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, or something like that. So I hope this helps you guys a lot. This definitely is going to be one for the books for the Series 7 for health and nutrition. It took me many years to figure this out, to get to where I am now, to get these type of results, to get the fat on my body that I used to have, which I've always been an ectomorph, very lean, my metabolism has just been very fast all the time, but lucky me, I guess. Some people have thyroid issues, some people have all kinds of problems, but you got to learn to love your body. You got to learn to deal with what you have and work with what you got. Okay, and I just gave you all the tools and the knowledge. Okay, you can take any one of these workouts that I did and use that as a building block to build your own workout, or do what you can just do 2 or 3 of those workouts a week, twice a week, and build up to where I am. You don't have to do all of those workouts. That was a big workout. I pushed myself pretty hard because I have goals and dreams. I want to get a certain weight and a certain body fat percentage. Although I'm very happy with the way I look now. It took me a long time to get to this how I look now, and granted the sun wasn't out earlier like I wish it would be now, but I mean I got decent lighting still, but it's just about consistency, and willpower, just never giving up, and that's why I'm like, you gotta figure it out. If you're a bodybuilder, those guys are working out like every day. I call this like smart bodybuilding, because 2 times a week gives you 4 days of rest in between, which is plenty. Okay, You don't need any more or any less rest than that, in my opinion. And some of this advice comes from a famous bodybuilder named Mike Mesner. You can look him up. I think he won Mr. Olympia, or he was like top 2 or something way back in the I think in the 80s or 90s. He had a lot of good advice to share. So he is one of the inspirations that I have lately. Again, it's Mike Mesner. Of course, Arnold, and a lot of those guys too. But Mike, as of lately, has been a huge inspiration. He's no longer alive anymore. You can look him up. But he had some really great advice, and I've applied what I've learned a lot from his page and his wisdom to my own workouts and my own knowledge and experience from the last 20 years. So, yeah, that's about it. But yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for checking and watching this out. I know I talk quite a bit, but I have a lot of knowledge to share, and I just want to pass it off to you guys. If any of you want like some kind of a custom meal and like workout plan, feel free. You can send me an email and we can set something up. If any of you want like personal training and stuff like that too, if you want me to get you to where I am or even above, hit me up and we can talk about plans, pricing, and all of that. Working on getting a new website up and all that. So I guess stay tuned for that. But for now, I just figured I'd throw it up on the channel. At least you guys can have this information to watch. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace.